What is something you catch yourself accidentally doing that is generally annoying to other people? When telling a story I include entirely too many irrelevant details. My mom does this. She told me a 15-minute story last week that could have just been, I saw a fox in the yard the other day. I slowly began to realize this after getting frustrated with my dad's stories and then thinking, oh wait, I totally do the same thing. When I get really excited I talk far louder than is socially acceptable. Saying hi even after hearing what someone said. I tend to do this too. But I have social anxiety, so I know it's just a method I use to give myself an extra few beats to compose my response. I think a lot of people do this actually. I subconsciously do this sometimes, and it feel like it takes a few seconds for to actually register in my head to give a response. So someone will say something, I'll say what? And before they're halfway through repeating what they said, I'll realize the entire sentence and respond before they finish repeating, cueing them to ask what I said. When people ask if you're doing anything nice at the weekend, or if you just had a nice weekend, they're often wanting you to return the question so they can tell you about this. All too often I forget that bit, tell them all about my weekend and walk away. Don't always feel bad. I ask those questions to hear from other people. I already know what happened on my weekend. I want to hear someone else. I forget everyone's name. I'll remember your face forever and can probably even tell you what you were wearing when we first met, but I'll forget your name almost immediately after meeting you. I don't always forget, but I have horrible name anxiety. Even with friends I've known forever and 100% know their names, I get nervous I'm wrong, or I'll say the wrong name or something, so I wind up avoiding saying their names at all costs. IDK where that came from. Never had an embarrassing name experience that I can recall. I'm like this but with birthdays. If I remember, or even if someone tells me it's someone's birthday, I have to double or triple check just to make sure I'm not actually a day off or something. Cause apparently in my mind telling someone happy birthday when it isn't their birthday is the worst thing you can do ever. Example conversation. My mom. Hey, it's extended family member's birthday today, you should send them a text me. Really? Today? Mom. MMHM me, as in their birthday is July 31st. Mom. Yup me. Okay, still nervous when I send the text asterisk. Sometimes if I start on a train of thought, I can end up zoning out for a while and seem like I'm staring pretty intently at people. You should walk up to them and introduce yourself, but start it off by saying you most certainly aren't a serial killer. Hi, I'm probably not a serial killer. Nice to meet you. The way I eat popsicles. I had one last night while my wife and I were eating. I thought I was just enjoying a quiet popsicle until my wife gave me her look. Apparently I'd been going to town on this popsicle and loudly slurping for the past 10 minutes. About a month ago in a meeting for work I was sporadically clicking my pen when all of a sudden my boss flipped out at me telling me to stop immediately or I'm gone. I wasn't even aware I was doing it that much, but apparently it's a huge pet peeve of his. Risky click of the day. Dropping random facts I learned from Reddit that aren't really useful in conversation. Hey, wanna hang out Tomo? Swans can be gay. Never mind. Finishing the other person's sentence for them. It's getting easier to control myself. I do that sometimes too, except I'm not trying to be rude. In my head I'm actively listening to the conversation and this is my way of kind of showing that. I do realize that some people might find it annoying and it has shown to throw people off their train of thought if I don't finish the sentence with the exact word they were gonna use. You explained it perfectly. I tend to wait for hesitation and throw in a choice word and it usually ends with yeah, exactly or something along those lines. But it's been almost subconscious, so I need to start paying attention. When I'm tired at work I mutter to myself and narrate what I'm doing to try and help concentration. Drives other people nutty. Thankfully I have started work in an office where they politely flick a rubber band at me when I'm doing it. I do this too, but it's only the connecting words that I mutter, so every couple of minutes I just mutter, and now I've got to, or to get ready for, and I narrate the rest in my head too quickly for myself to say it. I began randomly clapping and snapping my fingers at my old workplace to stop myself going nuts. I have a wandering accent. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but whenever I'm around someone who's got a particularly pronounced way of speaking, I subconsciously end up taking on certain traits, not to mock them, just because it's something I've learned to do over time without realizing. When I was a kid, I got picked on for the way I spoke, so I tried my best to sound like the people I was around at any given moment. Turns out, most people think you're taking the piss. I'm supposed to be going camping in Ireland later this year. Wish me luck. It's called mockingbird syndrome. And empathetic people do it all the time without any purposeful action in the process. Not replying to their texts. It's not intentional. I just get distracted and forget. You ever do that thing where you actually read it, so it clears the notification away, then proceed to forget about responding entirely until text notifications appear up there again from another text? I do that thing, and I hate it. /triple text. Sometimes I just separate text messages that could be sent together, especially when telling a story. Other times I do it in an attempt to get the person's attention, probably the more annoying one. I do this. Picked up the habit from a friend I communicate on Steam with a lot. Now I separate practically every clause on any messaging service. Tell someone something. Forget I told them. Tell them again. In fact, I was in my sex dungeon the other day and was riddling my sex slaves with a story. I forget the story. Now, they are bound and gagged as we speak, as they were when I was telling the story. They are quite the captive audience. As soon as I concluded, they kind of looked at me with pained expressions on their faces, and I walked up to the one, chained Monty Python style with a ball gag in her mouth, asked, "So what do you think, Linda?" as I removed the gag. "You already told me this story," she said. Fuck. I tend to form conclusions very quickly without waiting for the other person to fully explain themselves or the situation at hand. I've started giving out information before I've heard all the facts and gotten heated before I heard the full explanation. I really just need to take more time to listen. I honestly catch myself one-upping people in conversations just trying to continue it, but my friend gladly let me know what it came off as. I've stopped now. Yeah, I used to do that too, but then two of my friends let me know how it came off. PFFFD. 2 friends and my dog let me know. Guys, this seriously needs to stop. This is exactly what he's talking about. I should know. 5 of my friends told me to stop doing it. I answer questions with questions all the time. I honestly didn't even notice I did this until my brother got annoyed that my little nephew picked it up from me. But why? Do you think I know? It's actually not even like that. It's more like, why do I answer with questions? I don't know, just a habit. My question answer is almost always just asking for unnecessary clarification or rephrasing what was asked. It must be super annoying. Do you want a sandwich? You mean right now? Could you hand me a cup? Do you want a plastic one? How was your day? You mean work-wise? Could you turn on the light? This lamp? I don't know what happened in my life to make me this way. I make little noises to illustrate actions I do with my hands. I'll pick up a salt shaker and go, zoop. I'll shake it over my food and go, shaka shaka. The good thing though is, once people know me, they tend to just treat it as part of my personality. But I always become acutely aware of this weird habit I have whenever I meet new people. Your life sounds like a native sitcom. I actually have a running joke with one of my friends that we are the fan favorite secondary characters in a sitcom that's actually about one of our mutual friends. Cursing when children are within earshot. It's so hard to figure out when this is okay. You go from true freedom of speech to there being 5 toddlers at your gatherings over the course of like 3 years. If you think about it, it's all a cycle. We go from young preteens just learning to swear, checking around at a get together, to make sure there's no adults around to hear you, to adults who swear all the time, to parents who check around, to make sure there's no kids around to hear you. Rambling. If I'm tired and talking with my friend while we are playing something, I just talk non-stop. I narrate fucking everything because I'm just saying whatever I'm doing to keep track of it myself. I'm so used to watching streams where people are talking to each other non-stop that any silence feels uncomfortable. I'm told they find it charming, but I know it's the most annoying thing in the world. My parents both narrate what they are doing while they do it. Egg while doing laundry, so I've separated the whites from the dark clothes. Now for the fabric softener. Oh, and the tablet. Turn dial to 3, and there we go. Now to get started with dinner. It's only when I moved out and lived with roommates who did everything in silence that I realized what a unique quirk it was.